The sky was turning heavy and gray as Emily hurried home from work. A fine drizzle began to fall, each drop cool against the warmth left over from the day. She quickened her steps toward the bus stop, hoping to beat the rain till she froze. There, he was Michael. He looked older, his once bright eyes now shadowed with something hollow, almost lifeless. Beside him stood a woman Emily recognized instantly, Helen, a former co-worker. The years had thickened her frame, hardened her face. Emily's breath caught. The first fat drops of rain splashed onto her bare arms, soaking through her summer dress, but she barely felt them. She watched the pair walk away under a dark umbrella, Michael staring at the pavement, Helen casting only a cold glance in greeting. Their silhouettes blurred in the rain, fading like a memory she had tried to bury. But the past has a way of breaking through. 8 years earlier, Emily had joined a small insurance office as a junior accountant. The women in her shared office always smiling. Laura reserved Helen, and Emily herself had formed an easy rhythm. Their boss, the head accountant, kept her own office, leaving the three to their small world. When the company upgraded to computers, they hired a young technician to install and configure the systems. Michael was tall, with sandy hair and a smile that lit up the dullest afternoon. He was her age, quick-witted, with a knack for telling stories that made everyone laugh. Emily was drawn to him from the start, and it seemed the feeling was mutual. One evening, he waited for her after work, offered to take her out for a drink, then walked her home. That night was the beginning of something they both swore would last forever. Within weeks, they were inseparable, sharing glances across the office, whispering about the future they were already planning. Emily never noticed how Helen's eyes followed them, sharp and cold. Helen had her own interest in Michael, but Emily brushed off Laura's quiet warnings. "She's harmless," Emily had laughed. "Michael loves me." By the 4th month, Michael had proposed. He had introduced her to his parents, and they had set a date to register their marriage. That autumn evening, he dropped by the office unexpectedly. Helen brewed him coffee. Emily didn't see what Helen slipped into his cup. Laura tried, unsuccessfully, to get her attention. The next morning, something in Michael had shifted. He criticized her cooking, her cleaning, the way she kept their small apartment. By the end of the week, he'd walked out, muttering that if she didn't like it, she should pack her things. Days later, Michael came to the office not for her, but for Helen. Without looking her in the eye, he told Emily he was in love with a real homemaker and that they were already engaged. His easy smile was gone, replaced by a tense, joyless mask. Emily left the job. She was too young, too hurt, and too proud to beg him to explain. What Michael never knew was that she had been planning to tell him she was pregnant. Her son, Daniel, was born the following summer. 2 years later, she married Ryan, a high school friend. He wasn't the great passion of her life, but he was kind, steady, and gentle, with Daniel loving him as his own. Their marriage was built not on sparks, but on trust and quiet respect. She dreamed of giving him another child, but life had other plans. A year ago, Emily ran into Laura, who told her Michael and Helen were raising his young niece, abandoned by her alcoholic mother. They'd never had children of their own. Helen, 8 years older than Michael, had recently turned 40-1, and now, in the rain. Emily could see the truth for herself. Michael wasn't happy. She stood there, raindrops mingling with the tears on her cheeks, feeling the weight of everything unsaid. She had told herself for years that it would all somehow work out, that the pain would fade. And maybe, in a way, it had, because she still had what mattered most, her son. And as she finally turned toward the bus stop, she thought, life doesn't always give you the ending you dream of, but it gives you the people worth living for.